ourselves in 720p. We're live, everybody. Siamo vivi con Stevie P, Marco di IFTV e io, Vincenzo Tavernese. Presidente wants to do the podcast like this with this nice little voice.
Some ASMR.
Oh yeah, welcome everybody. We are
It's the Simulcast.
Simulcast live from Montreal/Brooklyn. We are very happy. Brooklyn. We are very happy to have everybody live viewing, and we shall start very soon. Thank you. I could do probably a radio voice, Stevie P, or I could do one of those, those audio books, but for porns. I could probably start doing something.
Very nice.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Out of my mouth.
Thank you. Look at you over there, Mark. You got all prepared. What's the dusting situation in that room? Do you dust every couple of days? Talk to us about your cleaning regimen in this room of yours.
So it's usually on a weekly basis, and whoever loses in FIFA in that week usually has to clean. So it's fair to say that Michael's the one who cleans the studio. I've actually never cleaned up here.
Mikey.
Over Mikey.
That's why he's not here right now. He's actually cleaning the back.
Good for him.
Can't give him a day off. You got to let these kids work, They have a 2
year. For sure, Antonio gets the senior citizen discount, right? He doesn't do the. Is his back hurt?
No.
Something hurts.
No. He cleans the toilets.
Them fighting words. But we'll let everybody. Already 68 live viewers. We're very glad, Marco, to give you a bump. Because obviously us, we have all these. But by the way, our monetizing Presidente said that we will be hitting $2.2 million by the end of the trimester. So it's a pleasure for us to give you a little rub. It's just like when Gabriele Marcotti, he called us to be on the podcast because he needed some more followers. So he says, yes, of course, we'll be able to help you out. So we're doing the same thing to you. We like to give back. Just like Pat Patterson. Bonanami Pat Patterson, you give back to the world of pro wrestling. We're doing the exact same thing. But thank you for joining us. We'll put it over there. I'm not gonna say what you said about your co-workers, what you told us before. I don't want to start rumors.
Please say it. Please say it. I'm trying to organize a boxing match between us, so this might help my case.
No offense, but we would have preferred Antonio, and now we have you. So now you're telling us
that later. So, freaking God, man! I pull out the Amado del Capo. We were having a nice conversation, and now you hit me with this.
We got an Antonio, and Antonio left.
And I have his phone number. I could call him right away. Antonio, you're telling him that he gets the senior citizen discount, that you're fed up of seeing him every day, that he's rubbing you the wrong way, that you want to have a boxing match with him. Us, we're going to side with Antonio, scusa. He's no Milanista at heart. We got to go with that.
Okay, but let me ask you something. He's a Milan fan, but who showed up today?
He's got a point.
He's got a point there, Antonio. When you watch this back, you left us hanging.
You see?
So David Fante just texting saying make sure that they were live. David is already on there. Already 89 live viewers. Steve, shall I start us in the Milan weekly podcast fashion and try to integrate IFTV? What do you want me to do here?
It's a simulcast. It's my word of the week there, so you could use it however you want. Let's just start.
Okay, so cari amici sportivi, welcome to a first ever simulcast of the Milan Weekly Podcast and IFTV. Worlds are colliding, like George was telling Jerry back in the day. IFTV, Milan Weekly Podcast, joining forces like this, talking about Calcio, talking about soccer, talking about Serie A, and our beloved Milan, even though Marco maybe, he's not on that thing. But we're here to talk about everything Calcio, everything Milan. Stevie P, Vinny T, Marco. You need a letter, Marco. You can't just be Marco.
Put Marco G.
Marco G. I like it. Vinny T, Stevie P, Marco G. Mi piace. Welcome to the simulcast. How are you this fine evening, Marco G?
I'm doing good. We got some Amado del Capo. I think we need to start off with the salute, right?
Scusa.
You guys still got anything?
I got the Moose
Lie
head.
to me.
Moosehead
Okay.
pure Canadian lager. I'm not gonna buy no American beer and a Copichat over there that you guys have over there. But
Fair enough.
a salud, a salud. And on that
Stevie,
note,
anything?
No, I'm good, guys.
Okay.
and on
cheers.
that note, guys, I'll let you a little conversation because I'm empty, and God knows I cannot have an empty beer while we talk. So I'll be right back. Speak amongst yourselves.
Okay, let's do some housekeeping there, guys, for everybody who's on there, out there live in YouTube land. Guys, it's a pleasure. For anybody who doesn't know IFTV, we're gonna do a little bit of housekeeping and show you what these guys do.
I like the housekeeping. I heard housekeeping.
Uh-oh.
This is brought to you by Moosehead. More Canadian than that.
What's
you can't
what's
get.
the split that I get on that? I get
The
some
split-
Canadian beer sent to me.
Well, basically, the way the split works, you get approximately $4.35 Canadian per mention. So that means about 2.3 cents for you. So
That's good.
that's the
That's fair.
exchange. Non c'è
That's,
male,
that's
non c'è
better
male.
than YouTube. Guys, let's do some housekeeping before we get to the Calcio talk.
Yes.
For anybody who doesn't know, Marco, you have this fantastic Calcio brand. I have a T-shirt that I've purchased and shamefully have not purchased any after that. Not because I don't like them, just because this one fits me so nice that I don't want to get another one because I'm afraid to let it go. So if you could tell everybody a little bit about Calcio and what you guys do.
Yeah, thank you. I know you guys got a bunch of our stuff, so we appreciate it. IFTV, Italian Football TV, basically a large community of Calcio fans that speak English, and we created this Calcio brand, which was our way to give back and to do something different and create, an Italian American clothing brand. Very simple, but what's funny is to see how far it's come. And I love to hear from you that you still have your shirt and you still like it so much. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and it's amazing there. I remember when you guys started it. I had vintage pitch apparel too that I would love to spin up again. It was really, really good fun, and I know that you guys are having a great time doing this. And like I said, for me, unfortunately, it had to take a back seat, but I hope to bring it back up and collaborate in the future because I know how fun it is to design things like this and have people genuinely and genuine people wear them and really tell you the honest truth about your product. So it's amazing there. And I'm not telling you because we're on this simulcast. I'm telling you because it's really a nice T-shirt and it's a great apparel there. And I will be purchasing again. That's for sure.
Yeah,
You know what's
definitely.
funny? By the way, real quick, before we knew each other or we associated with each other too much, my sister, who's a big Calcio fan too, she had showed me Vintage Pitch because she ordered a shirt from you guys.
Yes,
so
it was
so funny how it ended up looping back.
Yeah, I remember she ordered the Juventus one, I think.
Oh,
Probably.
I think it was that one. Yeah.
no,
I
but
even remember the orders. That's how much I love doing it, and I still
Respect.
today love doing it. Right, so
hats
that's
off,
amazing.
hats off to that. Like being able to create a brand and T-shirts. I remember Stevie wearing it, and good quality stuff. So kudos to that, and it's always great to cheer on somebody's success, right? So continue doing what you guys are doing. That's awesome. Milan Weekly Podcast. We're trying to get somebody to do a cartoon of Steve hitting me or trying to choke me out like Bart and Homer. But we're one day we'll get there. But keep up the good work for that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Steve, what else do we have on the
next item of housekeeping?
housekeeping?
So next item of housekeeping, we would be shocked and stupid if we didn't mention this while we have also Marco's channel and his audience on. So for people who don't know, myself and Vinny are from Montreal, Canada. It's 12 years ongoing that this charitable foundation has been collecting toys. It's called the Southside Toy and Food Drive. Myself, I've been a part of it for the last 2 or 3 years. Vinny has been a part of it from the beginning. And it's basically collecting toys and non-perishable food items for the less fortunate here in Montreal. They go to the Brewery Hall mission, and David, who is the capitalist and the founder of this, has done a tremendous job over these past 12 years raising money. Myself and Vinny through Milan Weekly Podcast have started trying to collect some cash for these guys, because they take this money and basically go to local grocery store or local, local. I'm going to call it local Walmart, but basically you have to understand we're trying to get the bang for our buck. And those and all the volunteers, guys, this is all volunteer work. Dave doesn't do this for money. He collects money and non-perishable and toys for the less fortunate. So we have this GoFundMe where myself and Vinny try to push with the admins from the Milan Club Montreal, basically collecting money. And we try to do some stupid things so that people would actually donate money. The first year we did a show outside in the winter, shirtless, and we found that $1,000 was very easily reached. So we upped it last year to 3,000, but we got about more than halfway there.
We got more than halfway there. I believe you had said that if we reach 3,000, you were going to make a show in a pool of Jello, and I think people were donating to not see you in a pool of Jello. So it was working, right? And honestly, guys, unfortunately, you guys know around the world with all this COVID thing, it's been a last minute kind of thing with this Twin Food Drive. But again, very humbled to see, this is not withstanding Mario's donation of $200 from the Milan Club Montreal, already at $770. Just spoke to my sister, which is a director at Walmart. We'll be able to get us into a Walmart where they'll be before opening or before closing, where we could. I think last year, guys, we had 18 or 19 shopping carts full of just perishable goods. Good feeling to have. So whatever donations, if you guys would appreciate it, going directly there, and whatever fees that GoFundMe take, we'll make sure that we take care of that, because Steve, we got Patreon money, right? So we're going to cover those costs there. We just want to make sure that this year runs down smoothly. We give as much as we could possibly can, and we did order 2 trucks, Steve. So the goal this year, even though it's not a gathering anymore and a happy festive kind of thing, we're still going to try to get those two trucks done. So if anybody, I know it's on our Facebook page, we'll really appreciate it. Thank you to all, and thank you to anybody that donated. We greatly appreciate it. It's a fantastic feeling, Steve, and I know that it was very humbling for you the first time in that truck. I know it was a bit cold, but it's I'm not gonna be a type like Lenny Clinton from Chicago that does this all year round. Kind of I don't try to put myself over for anybody, but a truly humbling experience, and it feels good to give back to the people that definitely need it more than us. So anybody that can help us out, we greatly appreciate it. Marco, say if you send over $5 American, it's like $72 Canadian. So you pass yourself off as hey, look at me, look at Mr. Moneybags. But we appreciate everybody that did it.
That's the house cleaning. Let's get to the Calcio, ladies and gentlemen.
Calcio, Steve. First, let's start off. Did you watch the FIFA 20 game today?
Yes.
Somebody was playing FIFA today. FIFA 21 that we're playing. I don't know. Okay. So I know, Mark, you said you watched it a little bit. Steve, you watched. I was trying to watch at work. I was trying to sell an iPhone to a customer. Then I was looking. Porca la Madonna, we're down to nothing. Monsieur. No, I can't forget you, monsieur. I'm watching the game. So I just want to describe one thing to you, too. At 2-0 down, when was the last? Now, I can only speak for myself. I was not worried. Not to say that we were going to win the game. Don't get me wrong. But I wasn't worried that we were going to get embarrassed or, oh my God, we're going to go down 4-0, 5-0. It was still a lot of game to be played, but I'm just remember that feeling, Steve. What a great feeling to I don't know if you felt the exact same way. Down 2 goals in the first 17 minutes, meritate completamente, right? From Krunić's brain fart completely. Another mistake there, but in the end, we came back, we won. Stevie, what did you think? I think you're the one that watched the most out of the game. I was trying to back and forth, but if you could take us through your feelings of the game.
Yeah, so basically today, guys, no one told Milan that the game was at 12:55. That's for sure. Because it's a long time, and I'm negative, and I'll bring up this comment here because I've seen it on YouTube multiple times. The sexiest man alive, ask him. He wants one of you to ask me. why is he always negative energy about Milan in his podcast when they chat about football? So I'm pretty sure it's about me because I've seen it again, and if it's not, whatever, I'll still answer it.
It's probably about you, Steve.
It's probably about me. The negativity, guys, is again, it's something that I thrive on because this is not the perfect Milan, and we saw that today, right? You cannot start a Europa League match against a very, very weak Celtic team down 2-0, because as you progress in this tournament, that will not happen. That's not going to happen against an Arsenal. That's not going to happen against a Tottenham, and it's pretty well sure not going to happen against one of those teams that comes down from the Champions League. So that's the problem that I have with Milan, and why I'm negative on them is because you cannot start a game like this. What I am proud of is that there was a reaction, right? So
they didn't crumble.
Exactly, they didn't crumble. So even down 2-0, you get the Hakan Çalhanoğlu. It's a miracle. Someone call the Pope because Hakan finally scored from a free kick, right? So those are the things that we needed. And we got a combination of Hakan scoring finally from a free kick, which was a goal that I think we really needed. And we got some saves from Donnarumma when we were actually absorbing some pressure, and clawed back into this game and won it. And not only won it, because at 3-2, we put our foot in their throat and we went for that fourth goal, right? So that's the positive portion of that Milan game that I saw today.
I think where the problem, I don't know, Marco, if you agree with this, I think where the criticism that goes towards Stevie about being negative, I think it's because a lot of the Milan fans or the Twitter fans, the online fans went from two extremes, from, oh my God, we fucking suck, to, holy shit, look at us, we're the best in the Serie A. No, there's a transition to that, right? And Stevie and I are always saying, like, let's keep our feet on the ground. Nobody's talking about Scudetto. Let's relax, things like that. And not to see it in a negative kind of light, but do you agree with Stevie and just saying, like, what do you say about this whole situation? That is it a negative kind of thing, or is it more of a realistic kind of thing?
Yeah, I totally understand you, Stevie. I think that football fans, are some of obviously the craziest, Calcio, soccer, whatever you want to call it. We're some of the craziest, right? There are people that think you can never criticize your team. If you criticize them, if you say anything wrong, you're not a real fan. I abide by a different mentality, like you, Stevie, where you look for the things to make yourself better. It's like your own life. You're not going to say, look, I mean, this guy's name is sexiest man alive. So he might not tell himself that he's not, the greatest in every aspect. But by saying the things that you're not good at, helps you improve. So I completely agree. And I think that there does have to be that sort of balance. For sure. For me, at least, this is a different Milan. I mean, just like you said, the mentality to come back in this match, a couple years ago, will we have seen this? Last year or 2 years ago, will we have seen this from Milan? I don't know. So, those are all positive signs. But like you said, it's December. Definitely credit to Milan. But for me, that goal or a successful season for Milan is top 4.
It definitely, and it's like, I think maybe a couple of years ago, Steve, it would have been like, maybe we'll get to tie it at the end, But we had Hogan, right? He came out big in this game here. Diaz played fine. I don't know if you saw that little interaction they had there. Was it the TikTok or Instagram, whatever they were, joking around to each other. But I think that's what it comes down to, is the reaction from this game. And Celtic capitalized on those two mistakes there. But I liked as well as when Krunic made that mistake, and Kessie, you saw that little tap and like, hey, it's good. We got this. And I really like that moment there and this team gelling. And I know David likes to talk about Scudetto like he likes to tell us every single time. But, Steve, these are signs of a team gelling. And whether his name was Padre Pioli or another coach, whoever it was, he got them to gel together. And so far, so good. And again, let me remind you, no Ibrahimovic. People could talk to shit on Milan. Oh, you rely on a 39-year-old. Not this 39-year-old is scoring, but we're still doing it without him. So, and yes, Çalhanoğlu, Steve, it was Pope Francis from over there that he gave a benediction. It's like, okay, you go from over there. But
and he needed that for his confidence. And like when you're winning, there's a lot of stuff that goes right. And I think, things have started to go right for Milan, right? And and they're getting those breaks. They're getting that free kick is going in. That shot that's deflecting off someone is going in. It's not going in for a corner. Gijo's making that save, that key clutch save. There was 2 in the second half that he made that either put Celtic back in this game where they shouldn't have been, and keep it at 3-2 or keep it at 2-2, right? So the thing with the going back to the team, guys, Milan to be successful in the top 4, as much as the 39-year-old Zlatan is a freak, we have to start looking past that, and people need to step up, right? And today it was Hoj. Today it was Castillejo. As much as we've seen him in the past couple of games run consistently for 90 minutes or 70 minutes for as long as Pioli or Bonera could watch him run, even though he would run uselessly around the pitch. Today he ran and actually did his job. So you know, like, the negativity comes positive stuff, right? And I think Castillejo was positive, Hoj was positive, Hogan, and you know, the negative part is, of course, you know, I see the comments, the Kajar injury. That's gonna be a problem if it's an injury that's more than a couple of weeks. I know we have Sampdoria, then Sparta, then Sassuolo. So look. In a Scudetto
it's going to be a
race.
good test.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good test
because now it's back to Romagnoli and Gabbia. And today, you know, I'm going to tip my hat again when Kajar came out and Romagnoli had to come in. Yes, Romagnoli did what he had to do, and he had a good. We talked about it on Monday, Vinny. Today, he had a good defensive performance.
Definitely. But about you, Mark, you think this Kajar thing could be problematic for Milan? Let's say, looking from the outside, you know, we do have this could be a test and see how well this team can gel and can actually maybe perform even under pressure and without players. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. But before I say that, just to touch on your Ibra dependency, I was just looking back because I knew that we made a graphic 2 days ago. And in all competitions between all the Serie A teams, AC Milan had the most different goal scorers. So they had 13 different goal scorers.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at a team like Juventus, they had the second least with only 6. So if you want to say what team is more dependent on one player, it's definitely not Milan because the stats show the opposite.
But that's the problem.
Juventus.
Didn't
they change the name to CR7?
CR7. It's CR7, Steve. It's not Juventus. It's CR7. But you see, that's where the problem is nowadays. Lying online, you know, we people like to talk without fact checking, and it's like you want to talk about this, you want to talk about that, and you know, am I praising that? Oh, look at us, we have a 39-year-old score. We're still very realistic that, like, you know what, Ibra's a god. Ibra could give us probably another year without any, but we need to stay realistic. And I think we've proven that maybe we haven't played the best of oppositions without having Ibra, but that fighting spirit has been there, you know? So people could talk all they want, but having Ibra there on the bench, and I don't know if you guys saw his face when they went down 2-0, he was not a happy camper. He probably slapped a couple of guys around there on the bench itself. But in the end, 5 points clear. We haven't been this since forever. And Marco, Steve likes to say it, a Serie A aperta. It's open. It's, you know, anybody can go up. And when was the last time you saw something like this, right? When was the last time Serie A, according to you, right? That was, okay, let's be honest. When was the last time Serie A, after, in the month of December, you didn't know that Juventus was winning the Scudetto again? Once or twice in the last 10 years? I cut off?
You got cut off at the end.
Okay.
But I think you said when's the last time the Serie A has been this competitive?
Or when was the last time in the last 10 years, right, that by December you weren't sure if Juventus was going to win, right? Maybe
there was 1 year. There was 1 year where Allegri was down by like 10 or 15 points. I don't remember what year.
I think it was his first year.
Was it his first year?
First or second year? I don't
remember.
First or second year taking over Conte. I think he was like mid-table at the middle of the half. But I remember that year. That team and the team that Juventus has today are completely different teams. The thing is that Allegri's midfield was far superior than what he has now. And that's what, you know, and that's like, you know, talking to a normal Juventino like yourself and some other normal, I call them normal Juventinos around here in Montreal, they've said that from the beginning. It's the midfield, and for the longest time, and we'll switch to Juve a bit here because it's very important. Everybody always praised Juve's backline, Juve's backline, Juve's backline. Juve's backline was a byproduct of the midfield that was in front of them.
And you always said that, Steve. You always said
I said it from the beginning, and it was not to shit on Chiellini and not to shit on Bonucci. The thing is that your job becomes very, very easy when you're not getting those dangerous chances 4 or 5 times a game or 7 times a game, right? So people are forgetting that, and now they're saying, "Oh, Bonucci can't play anymore. Oh, De Ligt is not for real anymore." Guys, those guys, a guy like Bonucci, yeah, he's getting in his age, but again, Bonucci himself was a byproduct of Chiellini. Chiellini covered up a lot of space where Bonucci could use his range of passing. He could do other stuff. Now it's kind of like there is no more that Chiellini. There's a De Ligt there, and he's a bit younger and a bit more out there. So like there's that transition point that Milan fans have been used to for the longest time, and now it seems like Juventus fans are shocked at this. It's like we had a comment there: Pirlo will crush Milan when we meet. I saw that comment. I put it up. Guys, Pirlo is not. His worry right now is not to crush Milan. His worry is to try to find a way to salvage the first half of the season.
But okay, so let me ask this, right? Let's put this in perspective. Pirlo has not had a fantastic start to the season to Juventus standards. I'm not shitting on the guy. He's a brand new coach. I still don't understand the decision. But Marco, why is it that, let's say, Pirlo's quality as a coach are not questioned? Where, let's be honest, guys, if he was in any other team right now, and he was expecting to have the results he's supposed to have, his job would be questioned. So is it that Juventus has realized that, you know what, we've won all these years in a row, let's give this kid some time, and away we go? Why is this? Why is his job is not in question? What do you think about all of this?
So
very
similar to Stevie. If you check our comments, like on our YouTube channel, it's all Marco hates Juve. He's a closet Milan fan. He's the most there's no Juve fan on their podcast.
Welcome to the dark side.
Because like you said, for me, I'm critical where I see it. So for the past 18 months, I've shitted on the Juventus midfield. And it's only now where people have seen that, hey, the Juventus midfield sucks. Hey, Bernardeschi is not a football player for Juventus. Hey, these guys are really bad players and they're not Juventus material. I think for Pirlo, it's everybody's expectations that have been poor. I saw when Juventus signed Pirlo, everybody's comparing him to Zidane. Oh, Juventus, they got their Zidane. Zidane coached the Primavera of Real Madrid and was assistant coach of Ancelotti. Pirlo has never coached a team. He didn't even have his coaching license when he took the job. So it's completely different. I think once you bought into this Pirlo philosophy, you could say, you have to expect problems. For me, what's happening so far for Juventus is not surprising at all because I expected a lot of issues with this team. I did not think that they're going to run with the Scudetto. I didn't think that he would be able to manage this team and just keep winning because, like you said, the flaws of Juventus have been overlooked and they're completely overshadowed by Ronaldo's presence. Completely. And anyone who doesn't say that is just they don't want to see reality for what it is. So there's a lot of problems over there. I do agree that for me, there's almost nothing Pirlo can do that he should be sacked for this season because it's not Pirlo's fault. It's not Marotta. It's Nedved, Paratici, and Agnelli who bought into a coach that's never coached before. So it's not Pirlo's fault. That's my opinion. So there's almost nothing you can do. It's transition year.
That makes perfect sense, right? I don't think, to call for him to get fired and stuff like that, but people that are surprised or, what were you expecting? You're getting a coach out of nowhere, right? That's never coached a day in his life. It's going to take some time for transitioning. And you know what? Those words, CR7, taking away, blinding the fact that all these problems, but CR7 is there, and he's a beast. He's a freak of nature. But CR7 ain't gonna be there for the rest of their lives, right? And I was watching I was watching
But
sports
they don't
media.
want him. The real Juventus upper management don't want him to be there forever because he's crippled their finances. They went all in with Ronaldo for the Champions League. And I'm safe to go out there right now is that I've said it before, I don't think Juve had the team when they went all in for a Champions League run, even with Ronaldo. And now that you're gonna finish this window of Ronaldo, whether he goes to PSG or not, because he's gonna want to go on a vacation, he's gonna go to the vacation league for a bit. I don't think that Juventus addressed all their problems. Once they went in with all in with Ronaldo, they had other problems, guys. They had other problems. They had Pirlo leaving, retiring. You can't, it's things like that people overlook. The high money free transfers that they had, guys. This is all stuff that stopped them from addressing other problems in that team that Juventus or their fans closed their eye to, because the Scudetto was almost a guarantee. Because unfortunately, we had the Napoli, we had the Roma, we had Inter, and we had Milan, all basically screwed themselves over. Milan and Inter, I'm going to talk about financially, and the other two just because they just don't know how to win. I don't know if you guys have in the IFTV any fans that come to you from Roma and Napoli. Steve Polillo has always said they had a window. Napoli and Roma had a window. They did not take advantage of this window. The two Milan teams were down. Not only weakened, they were down. And nor Napoli, nor Roma, nor Lazio could have taken advantage to win the Scudetto. And we made Juve win 9 Scudettos in a row. And I said it, and Vinny was my witness. The next time the Scudetto is going to change hands, I think that it's going to be one of the Milan teams.
And the discussion is always to that, Marco, is that, you can win as many domestic championships as you want. Was it, I believe it's Celtic or Hearts in Scotland that have like 100 of them, but they never won anything in champion and Europe, and Juventus has been the same thing. Was it a fact, according to you, that not that Juventus was so powerful, is that the rest of the league was just so poor and nobody capitalized? I don't know what you think about that, especially in the last 9 years. And that's why this year is so exciting, because we're not talking about that we're going to win the Scudetto, obviously, but it's so open and it's fun to watch again. Not that at the second week in December, congratulations. I remember, I think it was David Fante, back in the day, Steve, at December, he's like, I don't want to say it, but congratulations on their 7th Scudetto at the time. And he was right. And it's exciting to watch soccer like this, is it not? To you, Marco?
Sorry, it cut off. A lot of it got cut off. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, let me restart and speak in this way. So I'll speak a bit slowly and not move my hands all over the place. But we're just saying that is it a matter of fact that it wasn't that Juventus was so much better? It was because of the quality of Serie A not being up to par, and how exciting it is to watch a Serie A like this year, that it's all open, right? Anything can still happen. Yeah, Milan is 5 points ahead, but it could be lost in a blink of an eye. And you could win as many domestic cups as you want. In the end, if you don't win in Europe, it doesn't mean shit. So I don't know what your thoughts about all of this, especially the current state of Serie A.
No, I definitely agree that, Juventus winning 9 times was exaggerated, because like you said, the Milan clubs were down, and Roma and Napoli and Lazio were not able to win. And the part Steve said about the free transfers is so spot on, that every Juve fan and every big page, was, I'll keep it PG, but was going crazy, losing their minds over these free transfers where they listed everybody that they got for free. But what people don't realize is when you get those free transfers, there's actually an opportunity cost that's lost, where you're not getting a really good player. Because Ramsey, Rabiot, and half of the other free transfers that they got, they couldn't move, their wage bills, and they've taken up spots for players that could have actually been good. So much of that was overlooked. And there's just been so many stopgates of like, all right, let's just put a Band-Aid on this. We're not going to fix it, but pop a Band-Aid and maybe we'll win this year. And just like 1 year plans, which is not what you're supposed to do.
And that's a good point, right? You said band-aids. And people who don't, people who have never seen Milan Weekly podcast, guys, I'm the first to admit, AC Milan created the band-aid system.
The
We
Band-Aid
were
solution, yeah.
masters of the band-aid solution.
Yeah.
Galliani had Braida. They've done it for years, where they've lost someone and replaced him and replaced him and replaced him till we got to l'anno zero, when all those replacement guys were either over the hill, not good anymore, or wanted to leave, and you had no plan for the future. So you stuck all your Milan fans in basically a 10-year black hole of shit. And it's exactly what we went through. A 10-year hole of shit, losing and having, looking at players like Kevin Constant wear my fucking Milan jersey. No offense to Kevin Constant, but Herbie Emanuelson,
African footballer of the year. Kevin Constant.
with his bow tie. He's known more for the shirtless bow tie picture than he is for what he did at Milan.
When you said his name, the first thing I thought of was the bow tie. I swear to God.
Exactly. You understand? So like that's where people say, you know what? And, they criticize you and they say, you're a Juve hater. And they'll criticize me and say, oh, Steve, you're a Juve hater. But in reality, these people don't want to listen and don't want to hear the truth. And the truth is sometimes is that your club, whether you like it or not, is not perfect. So,
Stevie, I got the solution. You and I, we create a podcast. You'll act like the Juve fan, and I'll act like the Milan fan.
Oh, man.
Since we're both haters of the other team,
we'll blow up the internet. The people would come to my house and kill me.
I like it. Let's get this conversation going with. Let's talk about Inter, Steve. Inter, your favorite. I don't understand him, kind of coach Conte. Yes, Steve.
I want to know: is Inter officially Mikey's team, or we still don't know who Mikey goes for?
Mikey is a man of many teams, I believe.
Mike doesn't know who he supports. He doesn't like people to know. Okay, I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth, this is the cold, hard truth about it, and he will not admit it to you. He will not admit it to anybody. He's the anti-Juventus. So any team that plays Juventus, he will go for. That's number one. He will take any team in the world. He roots. I've never watched a guy, besides Champions League, because Champions League he'll root for Juventus. I've never in my life seen that guy watch Juventus play in Serie A and root for them. So after it's Juventus, then he just picks a team based off of if there's a Greek player or if he finds some other storyline.
Manolas.
Yeah.
It's like my grandfather. It's like my grandfather that would be, who do you go for in the hockey? Everybody against the Canadiens of Montreal. He would just like anybody that will play against them. But so if Inter will be playing Juventus, he would be going for Inter. We wouldn't be getting along on that one because we hate both teams. But Steve, Conte, you like to try to dissect his thinking, his way of formations. Eriksson, you don't get to play. You're sitting on the bench. Yes, they came out with a win, but it just seems that Inter seems to win when it counts, where they're playing like shit. All of a sudden, a great win, and he goes back to his formation. But he's special, Conte. Is he not? Like, he just likes to stick to that formation, and I don't know. I don't get him. He
only knows that formation, Vinny. And let's not hide it. He has no plan B. Conte has always been known for that. At Juventus, he didn't need a plan B. He was bored of that, moved on to Chelsea. For the first year, he didn't need a plan B. They had a fantastic team. They win the Premiership. Then year two, he's one of those guys that cannot keep it simple, stupid. He has to overthink himself and fill that team with his type of players. A la Vidal, he loves Vidal, and he brings Vidal to Inter, and Vidal fucks the bed with the dumbest of all dumb red cards against Real Madrid to put them in a stupid situation that's going to cost them potentially millions and millions of dollars. Not only did they pay for Vidal, he's going to cost them even more. That red card could potentially cost them even more. Now, against I love saying this team's name, Mönchengladbach.
By the way, Marco, we pronounce our words.
And he
the way
knows
we wanna
that I pronounce however I feel like pronouncing. Don't worry about it. So against the German team, they almost flambéed that too, you know. And the thing is that just talking with our Interisti friend, Francis the Snake Giacomo, and we were talking back and forth by text, and I felt the nervousness in Francis's text. Through a text message, I felt how nervous he was.
His voice was getting high pitched.
Exactly. The text was projecting this high pitched noise of nervousness from an Inter fan. And you know what? At a certain point, I felt like he was actually doing push-ups while he was watching this game because he was so nervous. Because they lose, they're out, right? So, and they're the first one.
They're out.
If they tie, they're even out. Exactly. So they were the first ones to shit on the Milan fans and say, "Oh, you're Zlatan dependent." Hey guys, wake the fuck up because you're Lukaku dependent. Huh? Guys, admit that. IFTV guys, all those people on the channel, admit the next time you go and you comment to Marco and the guys.
Lula dependent. It's that's the new terminology that they're using. Lula for Lautaro and Lukaku.
No. Lautaro Martinez can't tie Lukaku's shoes. Lukaku is the man who pushes that bus.
He's a beast.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Marco, do you agree? Like what a beast Lukaku is, and people want to talk about Ibrahimovic dependent. Take Lukaku away from that. Who's scoring those goals?
There's only two players on that. Only two players on that team. It's Barella and Lukaku. That's it. Those are the only two that they show up when they need to show up. That they are at that level. The rest of them are not. So definitely agree. Without Lukaku, this Inter will not go far. And like you said about Conte, the problem is, at Juventus, I loved Conte, honestly, because what he did to the club was incredible. He got the team playing incredible football. They barely spent anything on the players. A lot of unknown guys. They won the league. Even with Italy, I thought he did an incredible job getting us. Did a really good job with not the best players, with one of the worst talents. We beat Spain, and we went toe-to-toe with Germany and lost in penalty kick. Chelsea, again, I kept supporting him. I said, this is a guy that lives for hard work. He's against big money. He doesn't need those huge players. All of a sudden at Inter, I have completely lost this love for Conte because, like you said, he has zero plan B, and he is so stubborn. I thought when he gets his big budget, okay, finally, he's going to get great players. He's going to get a world-class midfielder like Eriksen, and we're going to see the best coach in history. We're going to see one of the best Italian coaches. But it's like he's gone backwards. He almost enjoys the worst players like Gagliardini. So it's so strange.
He loves Gagliardini. He loves Ashley Young. Like you buy a back like Hakimi, and he sits for Ashley Young. There's a fucking problem there, guys. You understand? But Conte is the type of guy is that you'll give him this money. And at Juventus, I have to disagree, Marco. At Juventus, he made some of those comments near the end where you can't go to $100 restaurant with 10 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
That dumb comment that always keeps on coming back and haunting him. But he's the type of person that he will be so stubborn he must be so annoying because even the upper management, there's like, you know what? Okay, shut the fuck up. We're gonna buy the guy. You want Vidal? We're gonna buy him, and then you potentially let go of another young player or a Bastoni or a Skriniar. And once Conte leaves and his time is finished at that team, he leaves your team, and he leaves your team 5 years in deficit in terms of talent that you need to get back to where you want to be. And that's something that's going to follow him everywhere. If I'm someone from a big club and I look at what he's doing at Inter, there's no way that I bring it. Could you imagine Conte with the budget of the Spanish government at Barcelona or Real Madrid?
Jesus Christ.
Like
lumberjacks all over, like
Lumberjack City.
You probably go get Muntari at this if you got him at a good price.
Assistant lumberjack coach Muntari. Sully.
I even said it. He said recently that he rejected Real Madrid, I think like 2 or 3 times. I was saying he made the biggest mistake because if this Inter goes where it's going right now into him, what big team is going to want to take him on?
I think this is his last chance. I think he's shown like one team is one thing, Marco, a second team, a third team, but it seems like he does that 1 year and okay, you're not gonna do what I want, and he leaves. Like, dude,
exactly.
you're not Mourinho. No offense to Conte, you're not like all these. So in the end, I just love it because I just look back at all those videos from Liotto goals when they used to make fun of Conte and Pancrazio, the hair, the cat on his hair, and this. And you take those videos that they used to make fun of him when he was at Juve, and it's exactly the same thing nowadays. I love it. If you guys have a chance, Liotto goals on YouTube, fantastic, really funny stuff. From Inter, guys, let's take it to Marco. We like to call them Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Lazio, because you never know what kind of Lazio you're going to get from over there. Lazio, Steve, coming out this week with okay performances in the Champions League, but then go lay an egg in Serie A. Is it going to be another year of this, Steve? Lazio? Okay, maybe Mobley is going to score another 30 goals, but not end up anywhere. And, it's just, I don't know. I think it's just Lotito. Is Lotito the problem? Maybe his craziness is reflecting onto the team.
Lotito had his window. He had his window. Last year they were really close and they shit the bed. And I don't know when you're going to get close to that again, right? And a lot of people are pecking Simone Inzaghi as the next Juve coach. So that's all fun and games in the Lazio camp. Can't wait to see that move happen. But you know what? Lotito at a certain point had to open the pocket, had to loosen those purse strings and get what Lazio needed, which is depth to continue to be competitive in the three competitions, right? So look, you know what? I was never a Lazio fan. I've always, since the time of Veron, I think that they've been a fantastic club in terms of when they lose someone, they're able to replace him with this low cost talent that the types of Atalanta and the types of Udine back in the day. They were able to replace these huge sales that they would make for tons of money with these guys that you don't never know their name, a la SMS. Don't tell me anybody knew who SMS was before he came to Lazio, because you're lying, right? So I think that they do a great job there, but there's that level, and then there's the level of, and I'm going to say it, Milan, Inter, Juve. You understand? That tier there, when they see that window, they open the purse strings, and now with financial fair play is a little bit different, but in the past, when that window was there, the purse strings were open and they purchased.
How about you guys over there, IFTV, Marco? What do you guys think of Lazio? Do you like the moniker of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Because you definitely never know what kind of Lazio you're going to get. Just can't be consistent, right? I don't know what your feelings are on that team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You said it well. And like you said, there's the windows. Like Roma had their window few years ago when they were competing with Juventus, where we thought that they could win the Scudetto. And then Napoli had that window. And Lazio had that window last year, where before the whole COVID lockdown, I mean, everybody was thinking that Lazio could really win the Scudetto. And I think that it also comes with like experience and mental strength, because, to go forward, I think in Lazio's camp last year, they were doing so good. If you remember, at their Christmas parties, they were singing, we're going to go win the Scudetto. We got the Scudetto, this and that. And I think they were like, wow, we're doing amazing. Nothing can go wrong. Then, boom, they had this lockdown, and they started thinking, oh, of course, it had to happen to us. We're so unlucky. And, it's just me thinking out loud of what I think happened at Lazio. And I think those kind of things affect you. Whereas at a team like Juventus, and of course, for Lazio, I'm not trying to compare the two, but at a team like Juventus, I mean, everything can be going wrong, and then they'll somehow, they could play horrible, and then boom, somehow they're able to score and win the game, and you walk home and you don't know how they did that. So to get to that level, kind of have to have that. And I think that Lazio's been halted a little bit by, like you said, Lotito, but it's a complicated situation. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it's a good reference.
I like it. Thank you for recognizing that. And on that note, let's finish off with Napoli, Steve. Even Napoli, they come up with fantastic performances. A la 4-0 with their last win, and then they go lay an egg today. Now there's talks of Gattuso resigning for a couple of more years with his dad sneakers. I don't know if you guys noticed that. He had nice little slacks with the white, the perfect pearly white sneakers. He just looks like a dad, and I love him. But Steve, Napoli, a bit more stable than Lazio, but I still don't feel that they have those key components to battle for. And I'm talking about against you, Milan, to say, but I don't think they have the key players to battle for a Scudetto, just like every single year.
Look,
They had their window. Like, we keep on talking about the other teams, but what do you see for Napoli this year, or what you've seen so far?
Napoli's a strange one. I have to admit that Napoli's a strange one, just because Napoli's finances are so good. You understand? Like, there's not a lot of teams that don't get that Champions League money and can buy a $70 million player like Osimhen. So like Lazio can do that. If Milan can do that, obviously, because of financial fair play restrictions. There's but no Champions League money, we wouldn't be able to buy a $70 million player. So their finances are good, but then they take on a player like Osimhen, who looks dynamic and fun to watch and a great talent, and then you have an argument with Milik. And Milik is sitting and rotting on your bench. You understand? So, like, I get that there was a whole bunch of random rumors. Is he's going to go to Juve? He's going to go to Roma? There was that striker carousel over the COVID and over the beginning of the season. You can't have that, though. You can't have that, because now you're missing that player. So, and I'll take an example of Napoli against Milan. Napoli against Milan, we're dying for a target man, dying, and they had no one but Petagna to bring on as a target man. Milik would have been a little bit of a difference. So it's moves like that at Napoli have hurt them over the years. And guys, I don't know what to say. Like, again, Maradona passing away is kind of like it's not like a symbol, but that was a type of move that nowadays is you cannot make that move. There's no price for Maradona. So what does Napoli need to take it to the next step? I don't know. They're a mystery to me. Marco, you?
Yeah, you said it well. I definitely agree on the Milik part too. I think that some people, in the beginning of the season, everyone was like, oh, Napoli's not going to do well. Then Napoli started doing well, and all of a sudden people were giving them credit, saying, wow, they're going to win the Scudetto. So there's a little bit of that balance. I didn't have Napoli really being there. I don't think that they have the strength to win the Scudetto, personally, for some of the problems that you said. I don't know how balanced they will be over the length of the Serie A season. Milik, though, I know I want to get your opinion on this. Milik to Milan in January. I say it should happen. What do you say?
I don't know, Marco. He's one of those players that scares me, right? He's had that, I call them one of the 3 major injuries that a soccer player has, and we don't know what we're going to get, right? So he's had that knee injury. I say that for me, those 3 injuries are knee, ankle, and then once you start going to hip and stuff like that, and they have problems with the il polpaccio, we know that they're getting up in years, right? So I find him a very interesting player. To say that I really want him, I want to know what Milan's plan is, right? Because now we have this Zlatan, we're gonna call it a dependency, right? Where we have this guy up on top who helps us retain possession and gives the guy some chance, right? But we've also seen today, when we don't have them, they play a little bit of that quicker ball, and they move the ball a bit quicker in the final third. So I want to know what their plan is. And like I said, for me, Milik, I think that he has the potential, but he scares me. Just because of the injuries that he's had, he scares me.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Milik because I love like those kind of big guys that are also very technical and smart. I see Milik like that. Definitely concerns about the injury. Definitely concerns about consistency. But he's still fairly young. I don't know why I feel good about it. I think that it will build for the future too. I like the move. For me, it's been on my mind for a little while. It's a shame to not see Milik playing now. To have him out for 6 months. Absolutely shame.
I agree, and that's something. That's what I said about Napoli. You can't have a player like that sit, right? So
You got to work it out.
Yeah, you got to work it out. Exactly. So
Did we lose Vinny or is it just me?
I think we lost him, but he's back.
Oh, there! Wow! Right when I said it.
What happens when you live in a multi-family home and your mother decides to clean at this time of night and unplug the modem? These are the kind of things that happen. What happened? What happened? Madonna. Anyways,
so we finished off
exactly when I asked where Vinny was. You appeared.
Yeah.
You see.
All right, where's my Champions League for Juventus?
No, that's not gonna happen.
What about? I think we finished with Napoli, but the next team we would probably talk about is Roma, right? So
Roma is like, can we put Roma and Fiorentina in the same pack? It's like this.
No. You can't put Roma and Fiorentina in the same.
No, I was just gonna put him in like. Some not so much.
His mother killed the modem again.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Oh my god! You guys talk.
So it wasn't me. I'm not taking the blame for the internet now.
You guys talk. You guys speak amongst yourself. I'll be here. I'm gonna get myself another beer. But no, I don't want to say it in the same pack, Steve. But for disappointing starts, possibly for Roma, and even against Napoli, I know it was a fantastic performance. But Roma was just shit that game. I'm not saying they've been shit from the beginning, but didn't show up. What were we talking about, Steve, the other time? Was it 9 corners by Napoli? I think it was 20 minutes in. But I don't know, like Roma, I just feel them, again, probably not going to finish top 4 this year. Probably, again, 6th or 7th. And I don't know if they're doing the rebuilding a la Milan, where we did for 8 years consecutive rebuilding. But Roma, Steve, I don't know. It's just nothing's... Ça vient pas me chercher, as we say in French. I don't see anything that's, tickling my fancy, as they would say. Let me repeat that. Tickling my fancy. But I'll let you guys speak about Roma as I go get myself another beer and not fuck up the internet.
Yeah. So it's funny he says, we're talking about Milik and we bring up Roma. I think Milik would be a good fit for Roma.
Could be, yeah. I agree. I think that Roma... I don't know. I don't agree. Roma, Fiorentina, they're not together. What Fiorentina is doing is horrible. And Roma has been incredible before, The 4-0 to Napoli, that was Maradona. That was like an out-of-body performance that was incredible, that the spirit was there. To be honest, Roma has impressed me before that. Leading up to that, Roma has been so impressive. I mean, Pedro, Mkhitaryan, even without Dzeko, they were winning matches. I think Fonseca, obviously there was a lot of criticism of him last year. I think he's proven to be a really solid coach, and the entire environment of Roma has helped him. They had that whole situation with Pallotta. Is he going to sell the team? Is he not going to sell the team? So many of the guys didn't know what was happening. Now they got their ownership sorted. They have a coach sorted. They have most of their players that are good. It's going to be normal to have up and downs. The important thing I think there is a lot more stability at Roma than there has been in the past couple of years.
Okay, more stability. How about you, Steve? What do you think about all that?
I'm not impressed about Roma. I think the complete opposite. It started off with that stupid game against Verona where they didn't know how to fill out the game sheet. and then, and I have friends who love Roma, and they listen to your show too, and they listen to me critique Roma. For me, Roma, the problem with that is you can't, as an organization, end the career of one of the most cherished prized possessions in the history of your club the way it did.
That's an old ownership.
Yeah. But I get it. But new ownership needs to fix that right away.
Okay, fair enough.
They need to fix it right away. And I think that's a byproduct of the respect that they get, right? It's because, Milan has done the same thing, but through coaching, because we didn't want to go with the norm, and we continuously put in a legend every time we wanted to have a coach and burn
Juventus
those bridges.
did the same with Del Piero too and Marchisio.
Yeah, exactly. But the 9 Scudettos hide that, right? When you don't have the 9 Scudettos,
for some,
I'm pretty sure that you're having that conversation with about Del Piero, Marchisio, and the way they left, right? So for me, Roma, it's I get the purchases. I get that they don't have the money to spend, and they did go through an ownership change at probably the worst possible time in the history of Serie A. During a pandemic, they were changing owners, right? So
they lost so much money.
Yeah, and I'm sympathetic to that because I don't mind beating Roma, when we play them on the field, but to have a team like Roma, like not financially stable, and I don't know if they've ever been financially stable till we'll see with this new ownership, but from the Sensi days and so on and
Didn't
so
they have
forth.
Disney money at one point?
We never know. With Roma, it's always a mystery, right? The two Roman teams, the two Roma teams, it's completely always a mystery. Their finances, they're always in the shit. They always have no money. Yeah, guys, for me,
I think it's different now.
Yeah, the Mkhitaryan
I think Friedkin is going to be good. I've heard some things from people that know him, and they tell me that Friedkin is a real deal.
Yeah, so and that's good, and that's what they need, right? But
it's a real deal, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight, guys. This is
Absolutely.
like it starts day zero once again, and building for them, they just got to stay stable enough to make some sort of European football every single year. But again, there's nothing that, like you were saying, Steve, there's nothing that oh yeah, look at Roma this year, they have this and they have that.
But
it's like there's nothing wrong with that.
Because it's Roma will forever be in the shadow of Totti. You understand?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that's gonna take Roma back to where Roma was with Totti, and that's why they're always gonna be compared to that. And the thing is that again, they had their window and they made some sales, and unfortunately, they just didn't buy well. And when you don't buy well after sales like that, and Milan have that opposite problem. Milan can't even sell. We suck. We're terrible. We're shit. We can't even sell.
No arguments there.
We can't sell.
I'm sorry, I'm very off topic, but do you guys mind if I show a comment on the screen?
No, of course.
No, of course. Go ahead. You could do whatever you want.
This made me laugh, David.
David, by the way, David is having he wants me and Steve to get onto his bus. David is a true believer that this is our year. This is a Scudetto year for Milan. Steve and I, we're like, Dave, let's go. David, he wants to make a t-shirt, get onto the Dave bandwagon on the bus. We're going from over there. And, Steve, it was just a little over a year that we met Dave and the First Lady. But Dave always supportive of you guys, of us, and always a nice guy. He is the best there. But
they're the greatest over there.
He's a Mr. Positivity, Dave.
Yeah.
Mr. Positivity from over there. But going back to Roma, guys, I think we all agree on there. And I don't know if you wanted to touch base a little bit about Fiorentina. I don't know what else is there to talk about Fiorentina other than we were joking around, Marco. Some of the Patreon guys, we spoke before the game against Fiorentina, and we were like, in the end, the soccer gods, the way they work. Everybody's lost points. We're playing a team that's been playing lackluster. We know what this spells for Milan, and in the end, we came out banging. Is Fiorentina just that bad? What's the perception of IFTV on Fiorentina so far?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what we were saying before about managing expectations, I think that's one thing I would have criticized about them once they came in. Obviously, we know the Comiso group and we know all the guys over there. They're great people.
Commiso, get it right. Is no Calabrese.
Okay.
Commiso.
Okay.
Grazie. Okay, go ahead.
So, I think that they got a little bit excited. They're still learning the Italian football way. It's very different than coming from America where they owned, the Cosmos. I don't want to, I think it's cry over sour grapes, but last year when they had that opportunity to grab Gattuso, I feel like was like one of the biggest mistakes that they could have made, where they wanted to keep Montella. And they said, okay, we're going to wait one more week. All right, we're going to wait one more week. And then by the time they waited to sack Montella, they lost out on Gattuso, which I think Gattuso would have been the perfect coach for what Fiorentina needed. Iachini should never have started the season. That was Iachini is there to coach the last couple matches, and you put a Hail Mary and you say, all right, please don't let us go to Serie B. He is not to coach a team. He is not to coach a team.
No.
No offense to the guy, but that's his job. That's his role, you know. But you said that well. They did have that chance, Fiorentina, and now it's just like, don't talk to me about Ribéry. Ribéry is like, he just brings that presence to the dressing room, and if he's starting, but if a guy like Cutrone is not starting games, Steve, and Fiorentina, giving away some of their key pieces in the last couple of years, and I don't even think Fiorentina is going to finish in the top 10. I know it's very early still, but do you see any big changes for Fiorentina? La Viola?
I listen to a lot of podcasts, Marco and the guys at IFTV and the Calcio Land and, the Calcio show, the Calcio guys. I live for these things, like I work and I keep them in my ear. But for me, and I thought Fiorentina was going to, I thought the Commiso group was going to splash the cash, and I thought that they were going to go get Sarri, to be very honest with you.
You really?
I think that was going to be their move. Sarri fits perfectly there at Fiorentina. You understand? It's like
he can make his wild, crazy
yeah.
And
he's in one competition. He can play those guys, those same 11 players all the time, and maybe build like he did before. Before he made the big move to Chelsea, he was at Empoli and he did that the miracles with Empoli. I think Sarri fits well with them and what they were going to do, and I liked, and when I saw them sign Callejon, I was like, hey, this maybe we're going to go see Sarri there. He's going to have to only bring over Mertens and Insigne, and he's going to have the trio chipmunks back together in Fiorentina. But the Prandelli signing was a bit disappointing, and that's the thing that pisses me off about Italian soccer is the recycling of coaches all the time. Like, it's tiresome sometimes. It's like, and I have to admit, I put my hand up there. When we signed Pioli, I said the exact same thing, right? But
we've been in the same boat at the recycling the coaches, right?
Yeah, but the Pioli thing, I was really one like, oh my God, are we recycling another coach now? But someone like Pioli for the time being now, and then I see someone like Morata too, and I think to myself, like, that's how an environment is important for a coach or player. Like Morata, Juve is his home. He's played the best at Juve. Every time he's moved away from Juve, he's, he hasn't been that performing. But now look, back in the black and white, and Morata's performing. Is it the same for Pioli? Well, look, so far, as soon as we took him over, that could happen. Could the same thing happen with Prandelli? I don't know, because the Prandelli that we saw Fiorentina against Milan, that was fucking terrible, man. That was like double-A soccer, if at best. Like Milan did not look worried. We just went, besides maybe two saves Donnarumma had to do, one at Ribéry and one against Vlasic, the striker. Besides that, there was nothing there, right? So that's the Fiorentina. I saw some comments of Sassuolo. I think Sassuolo does some great things. I really like that, they own their own stadium. They're a bit more advanced than the other teams as well on that front. The thing with teams like Sassuolo and and Atalanta is keeping the players, so like we see Atalanta too. I hate Atalanta's coach. I don't even want to name him on this show, on this simulcast, but
he likes to dance.
What do you guys think about the last two? I think Sassuolo and Atalanta, we should talk about them.
No, definitely. But Marco, just wanted you to touch base on Fiorentina about the on the IFTV perspective. Do you agree with Steve and just saying like maybe the Sarri, but so far it wasn't like a Milan being so great against Fiorentina. It was just a Fiorentina being so bad. And do you see them changing it around? And then we'll touch base, on Sassuolo and Atalanta.
Nah, I agree with Sarri. It was Sarri or Spalletti was the guy. If they wanted to build a really nice project, it was Sarri or Spalletti. The rest of these guys are going to be intern coaches that hopefully keep you in the left side of the table, top 10, but they're not really going to build something that's sustainable or what they're really looking for. So until you get somebody like that who's got experience, they even talked about De Rossi. It's not guys like that are going to make Fiorentina where they are. Sassuolo, I think that all credit to them. They're doing things in a proper way. What I love about Sassuolo is that they can interchange players so efficiently. they are not just relying on one player. They're like Atalanta. They both come from that same school where they could lose a big player and they've got a young kid that comes in. You never even heard of this guy, but because their system and their formation and the philosophy is all the same, I love that from a youth system, that the younger teams are playing just like the first teams. So all these young guys, once they get to the first team, they're not, looking around like, oh, I've never done this before. It's the same movements, obviously at a different level. So that's what I really love from Sassuolo and Atalanta.
And you know what? I got a great question for all three of us to finish this off.
Okay.
Guys, chi non si mangerà il panettone this year? So to all our non-Italian friends out there watching, who will not make it till Christmas as a coach in Serie A?
I need to look at the table.
I'm gonna Steve. Giampaolo at Torino.
Giampaolo's not even eating breakfast tomorrow, probably.
I honestly, I don't see. If I had to put money, and guys, kids, don't bet. It's a bad thing. A recovering gambler over here. Don't bet. But if I would have to put money, it's from all the coaches I've seen so far. It's gotta be Giampaolo. I don't know, Marco. Do you see anybody else after looking at your stats and you wanted to fact check? Who do you have there?
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's been so bad with Giampaolo. If like you said, if you're a betting man, if we want to have some fun, because Giampaolo is obviously a safe option, and it's probably what would happen. If we had to say from the top half of the table, who would be the first coach to be sacked? Who do you guys think, or to leave their club?
If the top half would stay the way it is now?
Oh, okay.
No. We projecting what's going to happen, but which of the top teams would fire their coach first?
All right. You know what? I'm going to do some fact checking as well. So let's have a look here. So out of these
if I look at all the top teams and where they are right now,
honestly, Inter.
Honestly, my answer would be
That's
Pirlo.
What I was gonna say.
You say Pirlo?
My answer would be Pirlo, but the thing is that because the higher ups of Juve selected Pirlo for this mission, let's call it a mission, that he's even if he, but let's say Marco, let's say he falls, and I'm saying here, I don't know if they're gonna fall, but let's say hypothetically speaking, it doesn't work. Nothing works for them, and they don't finish fourth, and they're in a Europa League spot.
That's bad.
What's the excuse now? You fired Sarri, and he won you the Scudetto last year. Now you're gonna come out with nothing, and you're not gonna fire Pirlo. You understand? And I'm seeing on the comments, someone saying Liverani, poor Parma. But those are the easy ones. You understand?
Yeah, I don't know. Like Conte for sure. I think out of Pirlo and Conte, I would probably say Conte. Yeah. I picture that Conte, Inter would somehow put some wins together, and all of a sudden, I'm leaving. I can't take this.
Yeah, but hold on. That's him leaving.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm
getting
fired.
Okay, getting fired. Either way, now he's changing the question. Yeah,
Conte is not going to leave.
I'll take your answer, Vinny. I had the same mindset as you. But even though the only thing, if Conte had Pirlo's salary, then he would be the first to be fired.
Yeah, 100%. Because
good old Conte.
Inter have Spalletti on the books too.
They still have Spalletti on the books. Yeah,
It'll be off this year, right?
They don't want to give him. They don't want to give him to us to release his clause, and in the end, it worked out for us.
Inter has Spalletti on the books, and you know what? Juve has Sarri on the books. So it's whoever finishes their contract first. So
we shall see. But in the end, guys, we're excited about the Serie A, and it's unfortunate that a COVID era Serie A had to get us back excited. I love what we're seeing. I know we have some games coming up this weekend. In the end, guys, we just want, yes, we're Juventus lovers, Milan lovers, Inter, all these fans that are watching us right now. We just want to have a competitive league once again We don't want a two-horse race like many of the years have been, let's say, in La Liga and this and that. We do not want to proclaim Juventus a winner by mid-December. Right now, it's looking good. So far, it's very competitive. And Steve, in closing, right? Are we going to get one of the best Serie A seasons we've had in the last 10 years?
I think this will be one of the most competitive ones, yeah, and I think people are in for a good show. I hope it comes back to when I remember watching soccer and they would flip flop positions from a week to week basis, right? So we need that competitive stuff back.
How about you, Marco? You think it's going to be one of the better, like at least competitive Serie A title races in the last 10 years?
Easily, yeah. Obviously, it's easy to say now. I didn't think it before, but considering all the factors and looking at the signs, I think it is. And guess what? It's exciting. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I'm seeing, growing up in New York and being in New York, there's all my friends. Nobody's really a Serie A fan. So it's really fun to see them like really interested. Like, wow, how is this team doing that? How come, how was Sassuolo in first place or this and that? So that part I really love. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but Dave just posted a picture. He was very happy that we pinned his comment. So love those guys again. And also shout out to you guys for number one, let's doing this podcast. I know it was long in the making for us to link up to do this, and for the drive that you guys are doing. I think it's incredible that that's the first thing that you pushed. Doing this together, it says a lot about you and a lot about the Milan fans over here in North America. So really awesome, and happy to be able to push it any way that we could.
And thank you to you guys. And I think that's the great thing about whether it be our Milan Weekly podcast, whether it be your IFTV, whether it be all the people, the Calcio guys, anybody that's doing these, nobody's being competitive against each other. We're all bringing something different to the table. Steve and I have our gimmick. You guys have your gimmicks, and it's just, look at what is he doing, Gio? He's sending money. What is this, like a super chat? I've seen this on wrestling podcasts. So what is he doing? $5, Gio is from California, fellow Milan. He actually joined Milan Club Montreal, fellow patron. Always there. He was actually up at 5 o'clock in the morning last time trying to talk on there. And thank you for that. I think that money is going to IFTV, by the way. We'll take our cut.
Donate it to the.
We'll donate it to the drive. But that's what I find. That's what I find great about our platform is that we're not in competition with anybody. People want to listen to IFTV, they listen to IFTV. People want to listen to Milan Weekly Podcast, they listen to Milan Weekly Podcast. They want to listen to the Calcio. They want to listen to both. They should listen to both. Yes, exactly. And in the end, you guys bring something different. We bring something different. We know we're all playing some sort of a role. Turn it up to 10. But honestly, we appreciate it, Marco. And on a little side note, because I'm looking at all your memorabilia. I have a 2006 World Cup winning edition jersey signed by Gattuso when he came here to Montreal. What is your most prized possession out of all your memorabilia? Not money wise, but
yeah, gotcha.
To the heart.
To be honest, the Atalanta and let's see if the Gervinho, they were both sent to us. Gervinho sent it to us, and Atalanta De Roon sent it to us. So those are really the most like sentimental. But other than that, I would say the Del Piero one, because the guy was my idol as a kid. So the Atalanta and Gervinho, because they sent it to us, and to me that's incredible to be able to receive it and put it up. Awesome. But then the Del Piero. And by the way, listen, we're not in competition. It's all fun and games now. But once the FIFA tournament kicks off, there's no more fun and games. We're not friends. There's no more Mr. Nice Guy, because I'm going to win. I'm not going to lose a match. I'll be surprised if I concede a goal. I was practicing before all night.
Listen to me. Relax. I have FIFA 11 on my PlayStation 3. You want to go right now? We're going to go right now. I have Ibrahimovic, Seedorf. I have Abbiati.
I'll play with Campo Basso and I'll still smack you. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
By the way, for you to know, back in the day, Back in the day, in FIFA 2010, I was in the top 10% in the world were playing online. Then I got old and I forgot to play. Now, if you want to play with I played with Regina. I played with Regina back in the day because it's my team, and I still won the Serie A. So you want to go? We're gonna fucking go. This is like a wrestling match. We're gonna go. But no, I'm serious. Huh? We're gonna fucking go. FIFA 11 on the PlayStation 3. But yes, we're gonna have a FIFA tournament. Stevie P, how about you? How about memorabilia wise? I know you have like hockey cards, all this stuff. Anything soccer? I know you have my Roberto Baggio that I donated to you. My Roberto Baggio hologram card from 1994 World Cup. Anything else in your collection? Something that speaks to your heart.
I have some jerseys. I have a 1994 Roberto Baggio jersey that I would love to get signed, but signature-wise, I have a Jerry Rice and a Joe Montana and a Steve Young football that I really, really cherish. That's the American football, and Jerry Rice is in the mail. But for actual soccer, it's really hard to get stuff signed. You understand? Like I was lucky enough to get a ball signed by Pippo Inzaghi and Nesta, so that's really for Gianfranco, for my son, he has that there. But I would like I see Marco and his variety of jerseys there. I would like to have my basement littered with that, but. It's the opportunity, right? For me, it would be Baggio. If I would be able to get that 94 jersey signed, that would be my prized possession.
That's awesome. Yeah, and on a side note, me would have to be if it's on soccer, it's got to be my Survivor Series 1997 Live from Montreal T-shirt signed by Bret Hart. That I spoke to him live a couple of years ago. That's got to be. And yes, Steve, there is a crossover of wrestling and football and soccer fan Serie A. But guys, I just want to take the time. Marco, thank you so very much for being here tonight. That we were able to talk. We should do this more often. I think we had a lot of live viewers tonight. Talking about because mostly we talk about Milan. You guys talk all about Serie A. But next time, if we get Antonio on, so we could be 3 against 1, we'd appreciate that. But thank you so much, and I'll be logging on to the PlayStation 3. What do you call it? The server. I got you. We'll go from over there. But thanks.
3 against 1. When you say 3 against 1, you mean me, Vinny, you, and Antonio versus the Juve fan of Stevie, right?
What did you say? Stevie, a Juventus fan.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, right? He's the Milan hater, and I'm the Juve hater.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
he would switch teams. We would switch teams.
Okay, we're gonna switch. Maybe that should be like an interesting podcast where you can be the typical Milan fan and Stevie could be the typical Juventus fan. Can I be the guy in the middle and debate between both of you? But the word bro must be used at least 15 times for every sentence. If you guys can do that for me, we'll I'm good.
And we'll have a stupid counter. How many times we say stupid?
Yeah, stupid. That's stupid.
Guys,
that's stupid idea.
Guys, thank you so very much. Thank you for guys listening. I know this was kind of short notice. I know the internet went off. I'm back. Stevie P, Marco G, Vinny T, collaboration, worlds are colliding. Thank you so very much. Have yourselves a pleasant evening. And beautiful.
That's Antonio's mic cover.
Guys, have yourselves a good night. Forza Milan, Forza where Marcus supports them. But Forza Milan, and we'll talk soon. Thank you for everybody for joining us. Have yourselves a fantastic evening.
Ciao. Thank you.
Ciao.
Beautiful.